the system. Okay, if you're gonna stick your butts to me, I am going to call you out. Okay? I'm gonna say it right now before I even begin the stream. It's not even officially 3 o'clock when I start my stream, and it's not even, haven't even put in the announcement on Twitter, which I should. I was about to do that. Whoever is the owner of Avengers 2139, 2139. Oh yeah, that is, yeah. You're banned. Yeah. Yeah. Screw you. uh, the fact that since I started streaming, the first message that I got was from a bot. Still is in my head. It still lives rent free in my head. Oh my god. Oh wait, I have a couple of things I want to talk about before I jump into Ace Attorney. But today's mainly Ace Attorney. Why? Or thinking, dang it. Now I realize the typo I wrote there. Alright, that's okay. Gonna let the music play. I'll be back in a minute. And I've been noticing that my going live tweets are becoming more and more hashtags and less actually what I'm doing. But you know, I have to get my word out there. Okay. 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 Well, hopefully somebody decides that they want to join me and, I don't know, watch me struggle through a little bit of Ace Attorney. As it is, let us officially begin. Oh, wait, that's what's going on. Okay. Let's fix that. There we go. A little bit of background audio. Welcome. My name is Nick Cobra. I am your very, very, very chill Snake Boy. Of course I'm chill. What are you talking about? No, I'm not lying to you. No, and you don't you can't you hear the very, very chill music by our very, very wonderful lo-fi girl who, by the way, if you are a new streamer and you are trying to come up find some music that you can use on your streams, go check out Lo-Fi Girl. Yeah, Lo-Fi Girl, previously known as Shield Cow, the one who does the lo-fi hip hop radio. Great music that I usually play when I need to like just sit back, relax, or I'm just concentrated doing stuff and I just don't want to have like metal music on my mind. Yeah. um, I was I did want to do my reactions to the Nintendo Direct, but then when I decided not to, I had this feeling like, you know what? No, I don't want to do it. And you know what? I'm glad I did. I'm glad I didn't. Granted, I kind of want to do it someday, but when I went through it, I saw it and I realized I wasn't too excited about most of the stuff that was there. Most of the stuff I saw was like, okay, this is nice, this is neat, I like this, but it's not something that made me go, wow, incredible, amazing. I like my highlights were honestly just very simple: Kirby and 64 and Bayonetta 3. Everything else was fluff, and even though there might be some people that enjoy something like the card battling RPG that I forgot its name already, it's just not for me. Disco Elysium, old game. Dying Light, old game. Dying Light 2, Cloud Edition, Instant Pass. Like, don't get me wrong, cloud gaming seems like it could be the future. I have played games on the cloud before and they run pretty well, but when it comes to playing my biggest problem with playing cloud games on the Switch is the fact that it's not part of any sort of subscription service. Because, for example, I have a subscription to Game Pass. That means that I can play games on the cloud if I want to. For example, on my phone, I can play my Xbox games on the cloud on my phone if I want to. But I only pay a subscription, $15 a month, and it's not just the one game; it's hundreds of games that I have access to. Uh, Nintendo Switch Online. No, Nintendo Switch, no, Nintendo Switch Online. No, that's not the thing. Cloud gaming on Switch implies that you pay to buy a game to have access to that game forever, quote unquote forever, but only the one game as a cloud service. You're not even downloading the game. I'm sorry, this is not for me. This is not like the best choice for me. Like, for example, I could play cloud, not cloud, Control on the cloud via Xbox Game Pass, or I could play Control via the cloud on the Switch. Big difference is that I would be paying $15 for 1 month of Game Pass to play Control, or I could be paying $40 for just play Control on the Switch. And with Game Pass, I pay $15 and I have access to not just Control, but to a lot of other stuff. Yeah, cloud gaming has a long way to go until they can finally grasp the people who they want to grasp. And it's just me because I have internet access up the wazoo. The main reason I drop the quality on my streams is because of others. Because honestly, I do have good internet, but it's just, oh my gosh, I'm actually feeling a bit woozy. I might actually go to sleep early tonight. Okay. In the meantime, I think I have scrambled enough, and I want to make sure that everything is set up. I do believe it is. let us transition and let us continue to play some Great Ace Attorney. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles! Let's just go straight into the adventure of the unspeakable story. Trial Part 3. How many parts is this trial gonna have? I don't know. But the thing is this. I'm gonna make something very important. I wanna say. I hope, I'm not saying I will, but I hope that I can finish this game within the next 4 streams. That means this week and next week. Why? Because the week after that, guess which game comes, and that game is gonna take the place of the main game for the time being. Yes, if I can finish this game in 4 streams, in 4 sessions, then, and when I say this game, I mean the first one of the 2 games, the Greatest Adventure, the GAA Adventures section. And I think this is this a bit loud for you guys? I'm sorry. If it is, I'm sorry. But if I can finish this, oh my gosh, I need water already. If I can finish this within 4 streams, then Saturdays and Sundays will be Metroid Dread until I finish that game. Oh my gosh. And that's gonna be a nice break because I wanted to play Metroid. I wanted to play Metroid Dread ever since ever since it was announced. It's like I want it injected in my veins. It's been so hard to not look at stuff. It's been so hard. Like, one complaint about Nintendo right now. Stop spoiling your own games. It makes people want to play your games less. Sometimes it just does that. So, let's just begin. Because the more time I have with this game, the better. And wait, after I finish Metroid Dread, I might come back to play a second game on the Great Attorneys. Because, my word. But I kind of want to give myself a little bit of break between the end of this game and the beginning of the second Greatest Attorney game. Anyway, it is the 17th of April, it's 12:41 p.m. Welcome to the Old Bailey. Oh my gosh. Please tell me we got that asshole here. Ah, Gina, how are you holding up? Starting to feel quite warmly towards her freaking cold shoulders now. Ooh, that's so sad, Ryunosuke.
Genie, are you alright? Why are you saying anything? What's the point? I go to all this trouble and fight so hard for the likes of me. What? Well, you saw it. The picture.
What? What picture?
You mean this? The photograph taken by Hurley's red-handed recorder?
Yeah, that picture, I guess.
Well, I didn't think I would have captured a scene like this, that's for sure. It's hopeless. Anyone who says that's gonna think I did it then, ain't they?
Well, I won't pretend I wasn't a bit of a shock when the prosecution first presented it to the court. You know, this will be a perfect opportunity for you to tell Gina, for you to tell us the context behind the picture.
Surely you're gonna have your doubts about me now. You can't still think I'm innocent.
Of course I can.
Jeannie, why don't you talk to us? Tell us what really happened that night. Bruno's cleverly managed to piece together a lot of new information. But still, we'd really like to hear it from you.
Ah, finally.
Alright then. It was after we had a dinner together at your place, right, Iris? Third of all, shot up in your office, didn't we?
Yes, I remember. What happened afterwards?
After that, I just couldn't get to sleep. So I slipped out, I went on the street to the Tutu one, to Windybank's place. I had to know if Alice's story was dead or not. The hand at the Baskervilles. Yes? All no walks at the bottom nothing. But if you ask me, there's something in it that Sholmes don't like. Something what you don't want people reading. So that's why I lied to Iris about sticking it in his lock with Winterbank for safekeeping. At least, that's what I thought at the time. So you broke into Windybank's? I just had to know if it was there or not. I mean, I had no idea all of that was gonna kick off, did I? Okay, so you went in. I struck the lock inside, stuck inside. It was dark as you like in there. So I gave the oil lamp on the counter a bit of weak. And that's when...
What do you think you're doing? Ah!
I nearly died. I did. The next thing I knew... I grabbed the gun off the counter. I was waving in the air like... I don't know what. Waving in the air. Like you just don't care.
Oh, you're the girl who was here this afternoon. I didn't think pickpockets weren't for armed robbery.
The mental script. Have you got it in here? Did Charles leave a lot of papers with you? A story.
I beg your pardon.
There's something of other. If it's here, I want to see it.
I'm sorry, young lady, but I'd sooner die than relinquish an article belonging to one of my customers.
I don't want it. What would I do with it anyway? I just want to see it here. See it here, that's all.
Oh, you want to see it, do you?
I want to know if she'll really party here or not. Please, let me see it, and I'll go.
Oh, very well then. But for pity's sake, stop waving my gun around, would you? Okay.
So, then the old couple locked the store and door, and we both went inside. And it was there, right? The manuscript. Sholmes weren't lying after all. You did all that just to check for me, Ginny? Anyway, and there was a bit of a kick-up out in the main pit of the shop.
The Skulking brothers arriving on the scene, yes.
What was that noise? Someone's breaking in.
Me, is there some burglars convention here tonight that I don't know about?
I think I forgot to shut the door behind me. Sorry.
I better go and take care of it. Could I possibly have my gun back?
Oh, well, I've come with you and...
No, don't be foolish, young girl. You must stay right here. Don't leave this room under any circumstances.
Oh, we're in the bank! Damn it! And with that, he took the gun off my hands and walked back out into the shop. I hung back in the store like I said, straining my ears into the dark to hear what was going on. It sounded like they got into a bit of a scrap. I started to think I should help see. So, I was just about to go in the store myself when...
2 gunshots.
I heard a couple of shots go off. Two, I think. Almost at the same time. And there it was, right at my feet, lying face down on the floor. I was right next to the store, so I slammed it shut and locked it as quick as you like.
Because you thought whoever has shot Mr. Windybank might come for you.
Yeah. So I went to grab the old cop's gun. I figured I put a fight at least. But when I got a better look at him, I knew. Pink was a gunner. Damn it, boy! You gotta give me the feels. I felt funny in my head all of a sudden. Kinda dizzy. And after that, I didn't remember nothing.
fainted, I see. That must be when you passed out, Gina.
If I hadn't done what I've done, Yolkov, I'd still be alive.
Did you tell the police everything you just told us?
Of course I did! But they didn't believe a word of it, did they? All they said was, if I kept telling lies, that'd make things even worse for me. It'll be alright, Ginny. Don't worry. Just stay strong a little longer. Rena's about to put the real culprit through the mill. Markov was there in the afternoon. That Echo Benedict.
Or something or the other. This guy.
Still remember how he looked at me, like I was nothing. He was there that night.
You saw him. We don't know his real name yet, but I'm convinced that he's involved somehow. Yeah, why didn't she say his real name? The juror. I just don't get it sometimes. Anyway, thank you for telling us what happened, Gina. I appreciate your honesty.
You won! You can leave it all in Rena's capable hands now, Ginny.
I think there's gonna be another like animation that goes beyond this, and we're gonna see it later. Not now, later.
Mr. Neroda,
Yes.
how come you trust me? I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, have you forgotten what happened here before? Come on. It was only 2 months ago. Me and McGilded. We told you a whole pack of lies. And you got the buck started off with him. Even though he was the killer.
No, I could never forget that. I did what I thought was best at the time, but the pain of that error of judgment doesn't get any easier to bear. Still, don't forget that I also made you a promise. I told you that I'd be on your side to the bitter end, no matter what.
But what if I'm lying? You could be working to get another killer off the hook for all you know.
I was once in your position, Gina. I was the accused in the trial.
You were?
Before I left Japan, I was accused of murder. And strangely, my son, the circumstances of the crime were pretty damning. I was sure that no one would believe wasn't me who done it.
Reno.
But there was one person who stood up for me, who believed in me, and was prepared to defend me. My best friend. Ryunosuke, no one believes in you more than I do. Leave this to me. All you need to do is put your faith in me, and I'll do the rest. I was so happy. I cried. But even then, somewhere inside me I couldn't help thinking, surely he doesn't really believe in me. Not completely. But I was wrong. As soon as my trial began, it was obvious that he had an absolute, unwavering belief in me. And, in turn, I developed an absolute, unwavering belief in him. Since then, I came to realize, if you want someone to believe in you, you have to believe in the other person first.
What are you saying?
I promise you, Gina, that no matter what happens, I'll keep believing in you. So, you don't need to worry. I won't let you down.
كنت وانا متعبة and no good liar.
You're not like Matilda. I know that.
That's right. You're a friend, Ginny. Oh, Iris.
We know you better than you think. And we've come to the conclusion that you're someone we can trust.
Yes,
That's really all we need to know.
exactly. Mr. Narada, I...
The Finite General Lestrade and her legal representative? Court proceedings are about to resume. Please head into the courtroom immediately. Yes, of course. Thank you. Alright, I've been both a defendant and a defendant lawyer in my time, so I knew only too well just how hard it was to put all your faith in another. And I also knew just how hard it was to bear the burden of another putting all their faith in you. This is it at last. The final chapter. The final battle. Wish me luck, Susato-san. And I hope you're watching over me too. Partner. Kazuma, this was for you! 17th of April, 1:41 p.m. at the Old Bailey. Let's do this! There's space for one more right there. I hereby call this court to order as we resume the trial of Miss Gina Lestrade. Law 6, have you successfully subpoenaed the witness? The subpoena was delivered to the communication station where the man works immediately, my lord. However, the heavy rain has delayed the arrival of his carriage, it would seem. I see. Dang it, I knew that game was gonna cause problems. By the way, I've never played Heavy Rain. Then let us turn our attention to Inspector Greggson's precious of the case heard by the court this morning. The glaring omission of the third bullet in your report is a serious blunder, Inspector. Yes, I can only apologize, my lord. And no further defense's chemical analysis of the blood at the scene makes for a compelling argument. I cannot permit such untried matters to be used as evidence in my courtroom.
It's a big mistake to cross Hurley and me. A very big mistake.
My lord, the subpoenaed witness has just arrived to the building. Thank you, officer. Show him to the stand without delay. That's right. Just drag him kicking and screaming right here. This is time. It's time to get even with this idiot, Mr. Edgar Benedict. I didn't expect to be crossing paths with him again so soon, and certainly not like this. And there he is. Question is, are we gonna know his real name? Thank you for complying with the court subpoena at so short notice, sir. But of course, my lord, as an upstanding member of London society, it is my pleasure to oblige. Oh, I am so going to enjoy this. Now, kindly state your name and occupation for the record. Ashley Graydon, Communications Officer. Ashley Graydon. Okay. Mr. Graydon and I both work at London Central Communications Station. Now, perhaps somebody would can explain what all this is about. You were appraised of the situation by the court officer on the way here, I presume. Yes, I was. Something to do with a murder that took place at a pawnbroker's on Baker Street. And some nonsense about me having been there on the night in question. That is the accusation, indeed. This is really, it's beyond a joke, you know.
Very well. Without further delay, the court will hear your testimony now, Mr. Graydon. You will respond to the accusation made against you under oath.
Gladly, my lord. Gladly. I am ready for you. Alright, witness testimony by Graydon. Let's talk about this accusation and how is it that I'm going to nail you so bad. I know what I said. Naturally, I have occasion to make use of pawnbroking services from time to time. But are you seriously suggesting I colluded with these thugs to break into the place of the night of the murder? I have no intention of admitting to such an outrageous accusation, even if certain parties here present claim that my blood was found at the scene. Some scaramouche detectives' Humber tincture can hardly be taken as serious evidence, and that's why we need another way of proving that he was there. The gun. The bullet and the gun.
So, you deny the accusation completely, do you? I must say, I am dismayed for the highest court in the land to be swayed by this self-professed detective's toy. It was the will of the jury, and our great British justice system demands that the jury's will is upheld. Then it would seem we have the misfortune of a most inept assembly of jurors today.
Graydon, you should not get on the jury's bad graces. I'm telling you this right now. Just so you know. Ash gray, ashtray, ash gray, gray ash. Oh. Stupid puns. Yeah, don't get on the jurors' bad graces. I'm just saying. Boy, golly. How long am I expected to be detained here? Until you can clear your name entirely. Until then, stay right where you are. You are going nowhere.
If, following the defense's cross-examination, your involvement in this matter has not been established, you will be free to leave immediately.
Good. Then I shall be away in time for afternoon tea. Some small consolation at least.
Let us not hold up Mr. Graydon any longer than necessary, counsel. Proceed with the cross-examination.
So, we meet again, Mr. Egbert Benedict. Or, is it Mr. Graydon? My apologies. You are... Oh, you asshole! Feigning ignorance is gonna get you nowhere! Ryunosuke Naruhara, defense lawyer. We have met.
If you say so. Ashley Graydon, enchanté. So.
No, thank you, Balan. I don't want your hat.
I trust we can conclude this quickly.
Sure. But I'm not holding your fleshy hat while we do. Sure, we can do this quickly. You just need to put your hands in front of you while we cuff you. Simple. Alright. I am not letting this one go. Not in a million years. Okay, let's begin. Okay, so, yeah, I mean, that doesn't seem like a big thing, so let's just press this. Yes, we even met in the very pawnbrokery where the crime took place in the afternoon of the day in question. Though, of course, you introduced yourself by a different name at the time. Oh? It was Mr. Egbert Benedict, I believe. Tell me, what makes...
Objection!
The witness here is here to testify about the events that took place that night. We're trying to ascertain what made him go go there that night? We need to figure out if he went there, why would he go there? So I think these questions are relevant. Objection, Your Honor. Please sustain. You idiot. He is under no obligation to answer such unrelated questions. How are you certain the questions are unrelated? You can't be serious. Thank you, because I certainly do not feel inclined to answer such an inappropriate question. So he's gonna be evasive, is he? In an effort to not give anything away. This could be tricky. Okay, moving on. But okay, but he's calculated with these thugs. Oh, poor dudes.
Hold it! Hold it!
Have you seen these two men before? This pair? Oh, they turn away. No, I don't associate with criminals. Said by a man who introduced himself as Egbert Benedict. I'd like to know who I have to thank for this. Who made this outlandish accusation against me? Oh! The young lawyer there in the black. This is a farce! Whose idea was it to permit an outsider to work in a British court anyway? I am so going to enjoy putting you behind bars. Well, needless to say. Okay, let me. Okay.
Hold it! Hold it!
Where are you at? Where were you at around 1 in the morning in the night in question, sir? That is past the hour at which I would normally retire. Certainly. I was not in the company of these rapscallions. You're able to prove that?
Objection! Objection!
Listen carefully, my learned Nipponese friend. No, listen you carefully. We're trying to establish where he was at night. If he can somehow prove that he was in his house, in his bed at that time, then he can just go free. That is such an easy thing. Get an alibi, you're out. You don't have an alibi? Sit down. You're staying here for a while. Don't you dare stop me. For you appear to be under a gross misapprehension at this point. What do you mean? The witness maintains he was not at the scene of the crime. He has no obligation to prove his absence. He has obligation to prove where he was. If your accusation is that the witness was present at the scene, the obligation lies with you to prove your assertion. So we need to figure out a way to identify him. I still point to the bullet. If we can find out that he has a gun and the bullet matches the gun, of course there's no rifling marks in this game apparently, but if we can figure out that he has a third gun, then yes. You will fulfill that obligation before putting any more unreasonable questions to the witness. Oh, shut it. Oh, look at this idiot. A silent victory wiggle. Thanks. Okay. Obviously we can...
Hold it!
Hold up. Oh! Sorry about that. Okay, so blood was found at the scene of the crime, there's no question of that. Mr. Sholmes' chemical analysis has positively identified the substance as such. But I am not the only human who have blood running through my veins, am I? How can you be so sure that the blood is mine? It could equally be the blood of one of these two miscreants. You're not wrong. Every individual's blood has a slightly different composition, it seems. Mr. Sholmes' chemical is able to differentiate between blood samples, but spare me the science lesson. I'm sorry, but if this science lesson is important to the case, you're not going to get away from this. I'm sorry. This guy is getting every single verbal thrashing that I'm gonna give him. I hate his face already. Who is this Sholmes character anyway? Oh, I assume all of us will know the name. He's a renowned detective. So even you are unable to bring yourself to say great detective. I'm just trying to make it sound a bit more respectable, not that childish, you know, stuff. A great detective, you say it? Oh, in the realm of fairy tales are... Boy! Boop, 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 boop. You got something to say?
Excuse me, excuse me.
Do you have anything to say about that, Mr. Skulkin? No, what? Me? No, the other Mr. Skulking. Next to you. It's not you, Gregson. Right, how many times I've had up to here with this? How many times have I gotta tell you? Yes, I know. You're not Big Rough Sulky. Mr. Nash Skulkin. God bless me, Governor. Do what? Is it not the case that when Mr. Graydon just spoke, a thought went through your mind? Would you care to share that thought with the courts? Me thoughts? Oh, I have none of them. I must have been... You what? Mr. Nash Skulking, answer the question, please. What went through your mind when Mr. Graydon just spoke? Graydon just spoke. No, Grayson, sorry. Nothing, Gov. I was just thinking... If it waits, it's on like much more, I'll open up the wool again, that's all. You can't see it, but I'm smiling teeth. I'm gonna Stevie smile. I knew these guys were gonna be the opening act. I knew these idiots were gonna open the wound again. Figuratively speaking, so I can just like sneak right in. What wound? Well, took the bullet, of course. It was only 2 days ago. I ain't gonna be... It ain't gonna be healed up yet. So I was, you know, was worrying for him, and... Oh, hell smells! Now he figures it out. Mr. Graydon. Did I hear that? What? What is it with Ace Attorney characters and getting shot in the arm? Both from Karmas got shot in the arm. This guy got shot in the arm apparently. Like, who else? Who else got shot in the arm in the Ace Attorney series? Your government is worried about you, it seems. On account of your injured arm. My lord? Yes, Mr. Graydon. I have no idea what these two wretches are talking about. Certainly, I shouldn't be expected to answer anything in relation to the mindless insinuations. We know that someone other than the victim was hit by a bullet at the scene of the crime 2 nights ago. And from the height of the bullet hole in the wall, that person was likely hit in the upper arm or thereabouts. Yes. Perhaps you'd allow a court official to examine your arm, sir. The left arm that you're currently clasping with your right hand as if in pain. I mean, if there's nothing there, you should be okay. Okay, fine, I'll show you there's nothing there, and we could just keep going, and you'll be out of here in like 2 minutes. No. I refuse. If you have shown no evidence whatsoever that links me to these common thieves. Accordingly, I am not obliged to permit any such invasion of my privacy. No. As I've already said, I'm completely uninvolved in all this. I've never had anything to do with the pawnbrokery where this fellow was killed whatsoever. I take offense at the insinuation that I was in any way involved. You claim to have nothing whatsoever to do with Mr. Winterbank's pawnbrokery? My lord, the defense would like that last statement to be added to Mr. Graydon's formal testimony. Very well, counsel. Continue with your testimony, Mr. Graydon. Okay, so we got something new. The bottom line is I never had anything to do with the pawnbroker establishment where the man was killed. Okay. We haven't checked this one yet. So I want to try this one again.
Hold it! Hold it!
Don't forget, sir, that Mr. Herlock Sholmes is the most famous detective in the world. And the most famous detective in the world tells me the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, huh? Oh, well, I know. I can't think of how to answer that. I once saw the world's most famous swindler trying to yell. He allegedly told the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but what turned out to be a pack of lies. But what? Quite. Now, as you are not aware, the Central Communication Station is the heart of this country's information network. My work there is of paramount importance, and you have kept me from it long enough already. So the bottom line is I've never had anything to do with the pawnbroking establishment where the man was killed. Alright, so we have to do something in this particular place. Do I want to press or do I want to present? I think I want to present, but I want to check what evidence I have, because there's a lot of evidence I haven't checked since last week. Let's check the evidence real quick. Armband, no, obviously not. The ticket. Let's see. Anything that could be... I don't think it's anything about medical case. No! No way! This case is gonna... Oh, wow. This case is gonna be linked to this case as well, isn't it? Intriguing. Autopsy report. No. Crime scene floor, banged up ground, the skull case. Here's picture. Yeah, not a whole lot changes here. Stereoscope, nothing particularly interesting about the stereoscope right now. The portion, the third bullet. Guess I'm gonna press, and if I don't find something, I'll try to find some evidence.
Hold it! Hold it!
Never had anything to do with it. You forget that I was there, Mr. Creighton, on the very afternoon of the incident. Obviously, I am not a complete stranger to the pawnbrokers. I'm currently on the lookout for Amshed to furnish my study.
Objection! Objection!
No, you were there to redeem an article. I have no idea what you're talking about. Inspector.
Excuse me!
But do you have something to add, Inspector? I mean, you can give me some fish and chips. Oh, come again, Sunshine. You were there too, in fact, weren't you, Inspector? That afternoon. Yeah, he is a witness, and he can witness to the fact that this guy was there. You're a witness. Well, yes, I do remember meeting yourself in the pawnbrokers that afternoon. You? Were you only up in this station? And the accused were all present, as I recall. What about him? And at that time, this witness, Mr. Graydon, was trying to acquire a particular article. Well, now. Don't do this to me, Gregson! I'm afraid I don't remember too clearly. Don't be an asshole, Gregson. What? But you must! I'm not gonna lie and pretend I remember something that I don't. What's going on here?
Rexy showed us a picture before, didn't he? You know, the cameras they're hurriedly installed in the window banks.
Yes, of course. Indeed. And the gentleman picture bears a striking resemblance to the witness, I must say.
Exactly, which proves that Mr. Graydon was in the shop on the afternoon in question. At no point have I denied that fact. I merely entered the shop to purchase the articles and sell and have a word with the broker. Nothing more. Gregson, you know what was happening there. You were there. This makes no sense. I understand why Mr. Graydon might be trying to cover his tracks. But why would Gregson be trying to avoid giving testimony about what happened? That's all he's gonna say on the matter, is it?
What do you think, Reno?
I think he has no intention of telling us anything. He's well aware that the less he says, the less chance he has of giving himself away.
The complete opposite of Hurley, then. He seems to think that the more he says, the better.
Well, at least I managed to prise a little more information from the witnesses' lips. All thanks to the Skulking brothers.
Yes, they were the key to it after all.
So he says he had nothing to do with Windibanks. Well, we know that's not true.
Perhaps now would be a good time to have a proper look at through the court record.
Good idea. You never know, a tiny scrap of information could become a valuable weapon. Okay, so it's definitely telling us you were there because reasons. I noticed the blood. I noticed the for McGilded, but I do wonder.
For McGilded.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if the for McGilded thing means anything, but okay, definitely not you. Before and after. The other picture is not showing us evidence, but you know. I'll just need to figure this out on my own. But definitely we need to figure out the fifth one.
Hold it!
No!
Hold it!
Damn it!
Objection! Objection!
Is that right? Is that right?
Let me try this. Because this is a different part. Maybe it's the same thing? No, it's the same thing. Damn it! I pressed the wrong button again! There's the picture again. Okay. I hate it because I have to do all this. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna save, so if that happens again, I'm just gonna load. Because I think it's easier to just load than to do that. So let's present that piece of evidence that I think might be it, but I'm not 100% sure if it is.
Objection!
Oh! Might be it. Have you ever seen this disc before, Mr. Graydon? Why? Is it supposed to mean something? This disc was, until the day of his murder, in pawn in Mr. Windibank's shop. It was redeemed by the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, that afternoon. However, somebody mysteriously appeared to try and take it from her. And that somebody was you, of course. Wasn't it, Mr. Graydon? As I have reiterated numerous times now, you are mistaken. That was not me. I've never even seen that disc before in my life. It may have escaped your notice, but there is a small smear of blood on the disc. Ah, yes. Resulting from a vibration of the thumb, perhaps? That's right. The surface of the disc is covered in hundreds of tiny metal bumps. In the skirmish to acquire the disc, the thumb of the person who tried to take it suffered minor lacerations.
You know where I'm going with this. So, while the disc bears the remnants of the skirmish in the form of the smear of blood, the thumb of the person in question must bear those remnants also in the form of a scratch. Good gracious! Indeed it must! Mr. Graydon, you refused to allow a court officer to examine your arm before. Are you now going to refuse to allow us to examine your thumb? Because I have no doubt that it bears a small scratch consistent with a smear of blood on this disc. Well, well. It would seem I underestimated you. What? What is the meaning of this? So you admit it now. You admit you have a scratch on your thumb from when you attended the disc from the defendant. Order! Order! Well, Mr. Graydon. It would appear there has been something of a misunderstanding here. I did not attempt to take the disc, as you put it. No, quite the reverse. What are you trying to say? It's really quite simple. You see, the disc was mine from the outset. Ah ha 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 ha, and you just dug yourself your own grave. Is there some crime in taking an item that you own out of pawn? What? It would seem, Mr. Graydon, that in this piece of evidence, my learned friend has established a link between yourself and the incident. Accordingly, you will tell the court everything you know about this disc now. And yes, you will, because I don't think you understand the implications of what you just said, Graydon. As you wish, though I'm quite sure it has nothing whatsoever to do with the pawnbroker's murder. Oh, it has everything. I guess you're not gonna go to afternoon tea, I guess. Let's do this. There's a note in the disc saying, for McGilded, but the item belongs to me. The redemption ticket was stolen from me by the accused, that filthy Godolin, on the day in question. I proceeded at once to the shop in order to explain my situation and redeem my article. In the end, of course, the disc was taken by the police. In other words, I had absolutely no reason to break into the shop later that same night. See, that's where you're wrong. I do remember you saying that there were 2 discs, so yeah. Did I hear you correctly, sir? McGilded, you say? The famous London philanthropist? Who perished in this very courtroom 2 months ago after being acquitted of a distinctly messy murder. Sorry. Yes, my lord, the one and the same. Good God! Mr. Graydon, are you saying that Mr. McGilded and yourself were acquainted? Yes, that is correct. I mean, does it matter now? It's just, you know. Order! Well, I certainly didn't expect to hear that name out of here in my courtroom again. According to what Regina told us, this disc was placed in pawn on that fateful night 2 months ago. McGilded himself gave instructions to deposit it at Windibanks.
It's funny that Mr. Graydon here is claiming the disc belongs to him then, is it?
In all likelihood, he's lying. So he appeared that afternoon at Windibanks in order to get his hands on McGilded's disc for some reason. I think his link to the information thing is how he knew about McGilded's disc. But why? Counsel, you will commence your cross-examination, please. Okay, let's do this again. Let's talk about the disc. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, I can't wait. You are going down. Okay.
Hold it! Hold it!
Would you care to explain how this belongs to you? As you will observe, a communications officer such as myself commands a fine salary. Okay. You are certainly exquisitely dressed, sir. So you see, I have a little need to make use of the services provided by the pawnbrokery trade,
However, I did once find myself in difficulties having misplaced my purse whilst on an errand, which is why I pawned my fine black overcoat to the broker in question. It's not yours! You claim it was your overcoat? Obviously, and in my haste, I clean forgot that the music box disc was in its pocket. And yet, there is a note in it that reads, "For McGilded." I am a collector of rare and unusual music box music. I first met Mr. McGilded at a gentleman's club on the city, and was interested to discover that he shared my penchant in that area. So, this in question, it's a pre-production sample. I promised to let McGilded hear it. But then you forgot that it was in the pocket of the overcoat you were forced to pawn? I find that hard to believe. Honestly. Yes, exactly.
Gina didn't mention any of that inheritance money 2 months ago, did she?
No, because McGilda had threatened her to keep her mouth shut. Which means that if we dig too deeply here, it's going to expose Gina's perjury.
Oh dear. This is complicated, isn't it?
Oh, don't tell me this is kind of like... This is kind of like the case in the first game. Let's leave it alone for the time being. The redemption ticket was stolen from me. Okay.
Hold it!
Aye. So you're saying that Miss Lestrade lifted the ticket from your pocket or bag? That's right. Despite being mindful of danger when walking on the insalubrious areas, her kind frequented...
Objection! Objection!
Miss Lestrade did no such thing. Well, of course she would take that stance, but the girl is a regular offender. You came to the pawnbrokery that day prepared with all the information you needed to identify the defendant. You were looking for her. That is what brought you to Windybanks. To get your hands on McGilda's desk.
Objection! Objection!
The problem is, we have no evidence of that. My learned friend is a veritable font of nonsense. Nonsense? The problem is we don't have the evidence. We know that's true, but we don't have the evidence. I concur with the prosecution. Counsel, you will refrain from conjecturing in this way. Is that clear? If we just had the evidence that he had about the girl, about, you know, the information he had about the girl, then we could say all this stuff. Otherwise, we can't prove this. Yes, my lord. Then I will continue with my testimony for what possible use it can be. I proceeded... Okay, I see.
Hold it! Hold it!
Have you ever been to Windybanks before? Only once, for the purposes of pawning something. But like many, I enjoy browsing in such establishments. So when you notice that the pickpocket had taken your ticket, you chase after her. Is that correct? Yes, that's right. I didn't notice at first, of course, such is the art of the pig purse. But when I did, I headed to the pawnbrokery at once, in order to reclaim my coat before the thief could. I was merely trying to recover what was rightfully mine in the first place. Sure you did. He can say what he wants, what he likes, because he knows we have no evidence to contradict him on this. There has to be some way. Somewhere we can prove this. Okay.
Hold it!
Yes, it was taken by Inspector Gregson here, wasn't it? That's right. This was the very man. Apparently the police are collecting anything that has a connection to Mr. McGilded as evidence. Gregson, please speak.
Excuse me!
We need you to clear the air. Is something wrong, Inspector? Well, what do you mean? The last remark Mr. Graydon made in his testimony seemed to trouble you in some way. No, it didn't. It's nothing. Leave it alone. Bro, stop this, okay? You're making me mad. Let me ask you this, Inspector. Why is Scotland Yard gathering Mr. McGilda's possessions? I can tell you something like that, Sunshine. What is it, Inspector? Investigative secrets? Yes, exactly. You should know all about that. Magnus McGilded, who died so unexpectedly after his trial 2 months ago, a man renowned throughout the capital for his great contributions to public life. Yet, he had a dark side too. Where are you going with this, Van6? I suppose the police are dealing with the aftermath of his nefarious activities, aren't they? That's enough! Coppers like me have to do this to carry out that we're not at liberty to talk about. That's all you need to know. Duties conferred by Lord Strongheart, I presume. You wouldn't. Van6? Don't you dare tell me that this is exactly what you're doing. I swear, if this is it. Okay. Potential spoilers, spoiler alert if you listen to this. Big spoilers. I'm gonna put it in big letters. Okay, in big letters, everybody. Let me see. I'm gonna put it in big letters. Okay? Alright, there we go. Let me just put it in there. Spoiler alert! This could be a potential spoiler alert. What I'm going to say, it could be a spoiler alert. I do not know if this is true, if this is the truth, but it could be a spoiler. Van6 is after Strongheart. Van6, I think he may have reason to believe that Strongheart is connected to this whole issue with the communications leaks. And because he's taken these cases that we are in, and we are taking the cases that are linked to this with McGilded, with this guy, with something or the other. He's taking these cases because he knows these cases are linked to this. He can feel in his bones that these cases are connected to this. And Strongheart might be connected to this. I'm not saying this is true. This could be complete fabrication by me. But just saying. Spoiler alert. Alright, I'm just gonna deactivate this. Okay, spoilers are gone. Don't worry about it. Spoilers are gone. Alright, let's continue. The Lord Chief Justice appears to have great faith in you, Spectre. Just speak, Gregson. It'll make it easier on all of us. The bottom line is, if you want to get more out of me, you're gonna need Lord Strongheart's paw print first. What's all this about? Exactly. We don't know. He doesn't know much because it's not. He's not all that into this whole thing. But those two are. Those two know more about this whole stuff. It's like there's something going on between Gregson and Lord Van6 here. Well, it would appear. Well, it would appear that the inspector has revealed all he is at liberty to reveal. Mr. Graydon, please return to your testimony. Let us return to your testimony. Gladly, my lord. Okay, let's press this. Let's see what he has to say.
Hold it!
Perhaps you've seen something of value among the forfeited items? No, not at all. Oh. A valuer was brought in by the police to assess everything in the shop. Without exception, every article on the shelves was common or garden bric-a-brac. That case is clear. And you broke into the shop later that day in order to recover Mr. McGilded's disc. Have you not been listening, man? Even if I have wanted to recover the disc, You may recall they had been seized by the police that afternoon. It was no more in the shop than the night that as I keep saying, I simply had no reason to break in. Is that really the truth, though? So there was nothing on McGilda's left in the shop that night. Nothing this man might have been after. I wonder if that's really the truth, though.
You know, we have some evidence. Then let him have it. I'm dying to see that irritatingly assured expression of his crumble.
Oh, so do I! Don't worry about it, we'll do it. Okay, McGilda slipped the disc into his coat pocket and had it deposited at Windibanks. Then, when he realized he was going to be arrested on suspicion of the omnibus porter, he threatened Sheena and forced her to take the redemption ticket.
There's no doubt about it. That witness is lying through his barely white teeth.
The police were obviously after anything left by McGilda as well. That's why Inspector Gregson ended up taking the disc into custody that day.
But Greg's being very strange about all this. There must be a reason for that, I'm sure.
There must be a reason for that, I'm sure. I just don't know what it is. For now, I need to focus on exposing the fact that Mr. Graydon is lying in his testimony. Okay, Graydon first, Gregson later. Let me look at the... Okay. Don't present anything, by the way. Okay, this is for the overcoat. Can I zoom in? Not for this, apparently. Nothing out of place. No, it's just a bunch of papers. Trying to figure this out. This one is for a small box. This might be it. Let's go there. The redemption ticket. Once. Let's say first. In case I might be wrong. But I think I'm right. You said there was nothing else. I'd like to present you with this thing. I'm hoping right.
Objection!
Yes!
Objection!
Okay, so this disc was deposited at Windibanks on Magnus McGilda's instructions. You knew that and you went there with the intention of obtaining it for yourself.
Objection! Objection!
Let me finish! Conjecture again. In any case, the disc was taken into custody by the police that afternoon. The witness had no reason to visit the pawnbroker again that night.
Objection! Objection!
Honestly, I wish that objection was a little more forceful. Sorry, my learned friend. But that's not true. What? Mr. McGilda had another article in pawn at Windibanks, as this second pawnbroker's ticket proves. There were 2 articles belonging to McGilda in Windibanks pawnbrokery, and the reason you broke into the shop that night was to recover the second one. Together with your 2 accomplices, the Skulkin brothers! This is the second ticket, is it? What had the man deposited? The article description reads, 1 small box. A rather vague description, it seems to me. Are you suggesting I broke into the pawnbroker with this clowns in order to steal some trinket box? I believe there are adequate grounds to suspect that you did. This is absurd! What on earth would I do? Why on earth would I do such a thing? Once the article had been forfeited, I would simply walk into the shop and purchase it. There would be absolutely no need for me to resort to theft. That's a good point. And let me look at the court record. This was on the 13th of February. Yeah, the article had been forfeited, so That's a good question. Huh.
Indeed, the witness makes a solid argument.
So that means that for some reason, this Graydon fellow needed the small box that very night, does it?
Objection! Objection!
It's time to put an end to this nonsense, my lord.
Could you be a little less cryptic, Lorvan 6?
I do hate to ruin my learned friend's argument, but the truth is quite incontrovertible. On the night in question, no small box was taken from Windybank's pawnbrokery. You're saying that as if it was an undeniable truth that people can go in and they have to steal something before leaving. Bro, somebody could be thwarted from stealing. And I believe this is exactly what happened. They got thwarted. They didn't steal anything. They had to run. And rest assured, the prosecution can prove it.
What? Good gracious!
Inspector, show the photographic prints to the court, if you please. Yes, sir. What prints? These prints were taken from one of the detective's security cameras.
Hurley's red-handed recorders again!
As previously explained using this plan of the shop layout, the victim's establishment was furnished with automatic cameras in two locations. One was set to capture the counter when Mr. Windybank received his customers, and the other was set to capture the shelves in which articles were placed for sale once forfeited. According to the information in this ticket, McGilda's small box has been forfeited already. 2 days before the incident at 9 p.m. of the 13th of April to be precise, which means it could have been on the shelves of the forfeited items in the shop front. Now, what I have here is a print taken by one of the cameras about 2 hours before the incident. That's at 11 p.m. on the 15th of April. Right. The victims...
Huh. The victim certainly had a very full shop, it would appear.
And then we have another print. At 2 a.m. This one was taken about 2 hours after the incident. No changes whatsoever.
I see, so we have two pictures to compare.
Oh no, we have a stereoscopic print, I think. Yeah. Yeah, there's changes. I can tell there've been changes. Somebody was perusing here. I can tell there are changes already. Yeah, someone was perusing already. I can tell already. I'm sorry, I forgot to read what was said there.
I must say that placing them side by side leaves me cold. Dear me, this is starting to make my head ache.
Obviously, at Scotland Yard, we consider theft as one possible motive for this case. We explore the possibility that something happened, thinking in addition to the victim's life.
So you may have already compared these two prints thoroughly, Inspector?
Yes, sir, and you did a horrible job. Obviously, Scotland Yard needs to be cleansed or something, because you did a horrible job. I noticed something within 5 seconds. We counted every single item in each of these two photographic prints. Okay, and the R's conclusion is that exactly the same number are present in both. Exactly the same number. Can you show them to me again? In words, nothing was taken from the pawnbrokery in the night in question, and my learned friend's assertion is nothing more than a hopeful fantasy.
I don't believe it. If I could have just shown that he'd stolen McGilda's pawn box. I might have been able to break him down at last.
Yeah, it's never that easy, Ryunosuke. You'll learn. Can I have those as evidence, please?
You know what, Runo? I've been thinking. I wonder if these two photographs really are exactly the same.
Exactly. Okay. What?
So, counsel, in the light of the evidence put forward by the prosecution, what is your position? It seems that, in fact, The night in question, nothing was stolen from the victim's establishment. Do you accept the prosecution's assertion?
Obviously not.
I don't know. Could there be some hidden discrepancy in these two photographic prints somewhere?
Oh, L to review scene. Thank you. Thank you for letting me review the scene. Okay, I'm gonna look at it on my screens because it is easier for me to be able to see. Okay, let me see. Yeah, that is smaller. Okay. Okay, give me a second. Oh, come on. Why do you have to be serious? Oh my gosh, it's kind of difficult to do that. Let me see on the other screen. Does anything jump out? Other than the obvious thing that jumps out, nothing else jumps out. Okay. So there is a discrepancy.
I wasn't sure at first, but there is a clear discrepancy between these two prints. What? You must identify the location in question for the court, counsel. Indicate the precise location of the discrepancy in which you speak.
Okay. I'm gonna point out here. Because it's also here. So I'm just gonna point out to this one in one of the pictures.
Take that! Take that!
Stop.
Granted, these two prints are almost identical. However, there is one minor discrepancy between them.
What?
When you view the two pictures stereoscopically,
Yep, that one stuck out like a sore thumb.
a single area stands out as being different. The location of this small box.
How did nobody even try looking at that small box? I'm pretty sure that small box is still at the pawnbrokery as we speak. Let me look. I love this picture. Just him looking like that. Can somebody take this picture without the thing in the bottom? I would love to take that picture. Somebody please give me a picture of Van Six just looking at the stereoscope. Just Van Six without the background, without anything else. That would be amazing.
By Jove, you're right! How extraordinary! What this tells us is very simple. Mr. McGilda's small box was indeed not stolen from Windybanks in the night in question. However, there can be no doubt that somebody picked up this particular box and then returned it to its place on the shelves. Are you suggesting that the small box originally deposited by McGilda is in fact? Yes, the very same small box I just identified in those photographic prints.
I'm almost 100% sure there was something in the box, but if we open it now, that box is empty.
Objection! Objection!
Mindless guesswork. And what if it was? So a box was moved from the shelf. Nothing was stolen. Which means quite simply that nothing has changed.
That may be true, but... Alright, Gilda's box wasn't stolen then. But doesn't the fact that it was moved like that change things?
It changes everything. Because here's the thing. He could have just opened the box, taken what's inside, and left the box inside. But therefore, technically speaking, they didn't steal the box. They just took what was inside. The question is, what did the box hold?
I believe this changes everything about the case.
How can that possibly be?
The crucial point is the fact that it was moved, that what was moved was a small box. In other words, we have to consider that what might have been inside that box.
What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that we need to examine that box as soon as possible. A vital piece of evidence is sitting on the shelves of Windybanks as we speak.
Objection! Objection!
That won't be necessary.
Then 6.
Some little box belonging to a man who died 2 months ago can't possibly be relevant to this trial.
The court does not uphold your objection, Lord Van Six.
Thank you, Judge. Base Judge. Mwah. I love you. And your beard. You have a magnificent beard.
Bailiff, arrange for an officer to go to Baker Street at once. Obtain the small box in question and bring it back here for further examination.
Okay. I'm counting on the box being empty. Because I'm thinking he stole the thing from the box. So the box has to be empty. The question is what?
Don't make us wait any longer, please. We should have a report within half an hour. I think perhaps we should recess for a short while until the evidence is brought forward.
To be hoodwinked by such a farce. Disappointing.
I beg your pardon, Lord Van Six.
This is nothing but a smokescreen. A Nipponese specialty, it would seem.
Shut up, Van Six. You're still on my poop list. What are you trying to say?
My learned friend has persisted with the same line of reasoning from the very beginning. That this witness's intent was to steal an article belonging to Mr. McGilded from the pawnbrokery. Yet common sense tells us that none of the articles have value enough to be worth stealing in the first place.
You're an idiot. You're an idiot! How are you a prosecutor? How? The best way to hide something of value is to put it alongside worthless things. If I... Wait a minute. Give me a second. Alright, give me a second, I'll be right back.
Sorry about that. Let's continue. Bring back the game. Alright. So I was just here with this idiot, not knowing not knowing how the criminal mind works. And I'm just... Exactly! It would be beyond absurd to break into a place for the purpose of stealing such a commonplace property. You are being an idiot as well. What about it? If your lordship recalls, Mr. McGill did perish 2 months ago, immediately after the conclusion of his trial. A trial in which he was found not guilty. A trial in which it was established he was the upstanding member of society his reputation implied, in fact. Oh, he's saying that with such venom in his mouth. So I propose a toast to my learned friend and his most insightful defense. The articles this upstanding member of society pawned were entirely ordinary. A black overcoat that just happened to have a music box disc in one of its pockets, and a small box. I assure you, I wouldn't accept even if the man tried to make a gift of such things to me. Graydon. You know, that makes rather a lot of sense. I thought it was gold you also had. Okay. But you can't deposit cash upon brokery, I'm quite certain of that. The prosecution's arguments are undeniably compelling. It is incumbent on the defense now to bolster its argument. I knew I was gonna do that. To explain what possible significance these commonplace articles pawned by this fine citizen could have. Well, counsel, is your argument in fact demonstrable? Are you able to show proof that the disc or the box are in any tangible way related to this case? Well, do I? And do I want to? Because if we do, this thing could end up blowing up in our faces and making Gina guilty of perjury.
What's the matter, Runo? We know that they're related, don't we? They're both vital pieces of evidence.
Yes, no, you and I both know that. We know McGilda's true character, and we know that this gets significant even if we don't know why. But if we explain all that to the court at this point, we'll have to acknowledge that Mr. McGilda's acquittal 2 months ago was a mistake. The defense's argument was flawed, based on false information.
Oh no!
And that would mean admitting that Gina committed perjury.
But Jeannie...
Could it be that Van Six knows? Oh, he knows, darling. He knows everything. Is that why he's doing this now? Because he anticipated everything? Oh, darling, he knows.
But maybe... this could be a great opportunity for us.
Sorry? What do you mean, Iris?
Well, what is it that you always say, Runo? Sooner or later, the truth comes out. Every time.
Alright. The exact significance of the things that McGilda deposited with Mr. Winterbank is something that only Gina can explain to the court. But if I put it to the stand to testify about that, it could critically damage her chances of winning this case. What's the right thing to do here? Why must you do this to me, game?
What are you doing? Why are you doing this to me, game? I can't. You can't reasonably tell me that I have to do this. I am... No, game. But there's no other way. There's no other way to do this. We have to have Gina testify. We need to establish that this is an important thing, and we have to have Gina testify. There's no other way. Damn it! Gina won't be in the clear after this, no matter what. Okay. I'm sorry, Gina. You're gonna have to come to the stand. My lord, the defense would like to make a proposal. Oh, what proposal, counsel? While the court awaits the arrival of Mr. McGilded's small box, I would like to call the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, to the witness stand. The defendant? To what end? It's to do with the various articles deposited at Muni Banks by Mr. McGilded, my lord. Mrs. Lestrade has information related to them. I believe it will be beneficial for the court to hear what she has to say. I will prove the significance of the articles in question once and for all. Well, well. Things are becoming interesting. I presume you've considered the implications of the testimony you're proposing. In particular, impact it will have on the accused's standing, and indeed, your own. I have. Lord Van Six, will you care to explain the last remark? The prosecution accepts the defense's proposal. I move to interrupt the cross-examination of the current witness and hear from the accused herself. Very well, if you have no objections. So, the court will now hear from testimony of the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. Your witnesses currently stand may step down until further notice. Then I shall bid you good day. Wait. You, sir, shall remain in the stand while Mr. Lestrade testifies. As you wish. Alright then, Gina. It's time. I know this will be hard, but please, put your faith in me here. Good luck, Rena. This is gonna be hard. Alright, Gina. Please trust in me. Trust me. We can make it through this. Alright. The articles that Mr. McGilded had deposited in Windybank's pawnbrokery are intimately related with the omnibus case, the trial of which was heard in this courtroom 2 months ago. Yes, and I remember this young lady being brought before me in that trial as well. That's right, my lord. Her testimony helped establish the innocence of the defendant, Mr. McGilded. The omnibus case was intriguing, to say the least. And now, here we all are again. The same players in the trial, facing each other once more. -1. A twist of fate, perhaps. My Nipponese friend. Allow me to recap the events of 2 months ago. An old brickmaker was stabbed to death in an omnibus running along London's winter streets. Apart from the victim, there was only one other person in the carriage, Mr. McGilded. Naturally, he was the prime suspect for the murder, but as the trial progressed, another possibility emerged, that the murder in fact took place above the defendant's head on the roof deck, with the body then being dropped through the skylight into the carriage below. It was Miss Lestrade whose testimony brought that possibility to light. At the time of the incident, Miss Lestrade was concealed under a seat in the carriage,
hoping to pick the pockets of unsuspecting passengers. Then, immediately after the trial, having been acquitted of the murder, Mr. McGilda died in this very courtroom in the most extraordinary of circumstances, which we still don't know how it happened, by the way. A mystery that remains unsolved even now, 2 months on, as indeed does the omnibus murder itself. Be that as it may, I recall neither the disc nor the small box being mentioned in the course of these proceedings. Miss Lestrade, would you tell the court now, please, what really happened in the omnibus 2 months ago?
I don't know what you mean. I already said all what I know.
And what about everything you told us yesterday from inside your prison cell? Please, Mrs. Straight. This is extremely important.
But
Remember, little girl, if it transpired that you willfully withheld information in the trial 2 months ago, the Home Office will seek to prosecute you for perjury. And naturally, you will lose all credibility as a witness. Although, let's face facts, you have little credibility to lose.
Ginny, don't listen to him. Please. You have to trust Runa now. Iris, we're on your side. Alright then. I'll talk.
It's the right choice, you know. Well, you will see that my learned friend is helping to bring the entire courtroom down about his ears. So be it. I must confess that I'm struggling to understand what on earth is happening here. However, it would appear that Mr. McGilda's pawn articles and that extraordinary case of the omnibus harbor secrets which you have yet been hitherto unaware. So, Miss Lestrade, you will now give your testimony before the court about the events of 2 months ago. You will reveal the truth, a commodity sorely lacking in your original statements. This is it then. Everything's gonna come out. Like Van Six said. This could bring the whole courtroom down about my ears. But as a lawyer, I'm prepared to take that risk. Please, speak the truth.
Truth is, that brickmaker Cove was in the cabin of the omnibus the whole time. Then the Irishman dragged me out from under the seat. I saw the disc on the floor. All of a sudden, I heard a scream from over there, and up here on the roof deck went off to call the slops. That's when McGilda slipped the driver some team to do a run at the punch of roundabout. He threatened me not to snitch, not to say nothing to no one about what the scene of it.
Good grief, this is outrageous. What you just told the court bears almost no resemblance to your testimony 2 months ago. As you say, my lord. Then, there's every chance I may have adjudicated an error in McGilda's trial. Sounds very much to me as if the man deliberately deceived this court in an effort to cover up the most wicked of schemes. Without doubt, your lordship is correct. A great injustice was done in this courtroom 2 months ago. The accusations of the accused in the trial, of this witness, and of my learned friend are entirely inexcusable. Or the actions, sorry.
I don't believe it! The whole trial was a farce! It was all lies! That McGilda fellow was thrown into the core, just like a pickpocket! Don't forget the lawyer and the atheist, they were all in it together! You're wrong! The lot of you! It's none of the lawyer there! He didn't know nothing about it!
Humbug!
I don't think so. Will you really expect to believe that? I really staged everyone up there on an operation to get the man scarf off coffee.
Unforgivable! Stop! The alliance has to stop! Stop!
Yes. The defense made a terrible error in judgment. I intend to take full responsibility and suffer whatever consequences are deemed appropriate. However, it is imperative that the court allows the witness to elaborate on her testimony, because the true significance of McGilda's pawn articles must be brought to light. Very well, my learned student friend. Given the depths of calamity you have just plunged yourself into, this may well be worth hearing. Words fail me. The situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, my lord. I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial. Of course, my lord.
Blimey, Mr. Naruhodo.
Now, counsel, proceed with the cross-examination. Oh boy. This one is gonna take a lot. I knew this case was gonna take a lot. I don't know if I can take this. Don't worry, I'll do this. Let's do this. Alright, so tell me about the brickmaker. And you were hiding in the cabin at the time as well, weren't you, Mr. Straight? If I remember rightly, in the storage cabinet underneath one of the seats. Yeah, that's right. It's pitch black under there, so you can't see nothing at all. Now, in your testimony 2 months ago, I feel certain you claim Mr. McGilda was the sole passenger, did you not? False testimony, my lord. That's what you told me I had to say. But it's important that you tell us the truth now. Where Mr. McGilda and the victim acquaintances? I don't know. But I did hear him talking a lot. What the hell? What the hell? What is this? What's going on here? It's nobody hearing this. It's nobody seeing this. See, I thought, since you can't see them, so you can't really see them, I thought that, you know, it was just a standard scene. But no! What's going on here? What's wrong in this picture? These two are talking. These two are in cahoots. Oh, Gregson, I thought better of you. Well, it's Gina we have to talk about, so let's continue. Okay. What were they talking about?
Well, I couldn't hear too well, but if I had to say, I think it was about money or something. I kept talking about buying and not buying.
Perhaps business dealings of some kind.
Well, anyway, they got louder and louder, starting to sound like a proper fight. I was pretty scared by then. I hardly had to breathe, and then, all of a sudden, I heard a noise of someone kneeling over on the floor. It was blooming loud and all.
And I believe you let out an involuntary scream.
Yeah, that's what gave me away. When the Irishman dragged me out from under the seat.
Okay, yeah.
Hold it! Hold it!
Was the disc you saw this disc?
Yeah, I reckon it probably was. It was right next to the cove lying on the floor.
Could this disc have belonged to the victim, perhaps?
I don't know, but McGilda picked it up pretty smartish. And then he sat in the cove with the knife still in its belly up on the seat.
What did he say to you at the time?
He told me not to say a word about what the scene of hurt to no one. About the disc and all. He was that scared. The way he was looking at me, I thought, if I didn't go along with it, I get stuck with that knife too. Then he started asking me a lot of questions. Like what my name was, and where I live and that. He asked about Big Deal Diva too.
But after a while, what had happened? The carriage was noticed? But after a while, what had happened in the carriage was noticed. What?
This sentence doesn't make much sense, but after a while, what had happened in the carriage was noticed. Okay, I kinda get it, but that could have been worded better.
Yeah, that's right. First there was a kind of rapping noise. All of a sudden, I heard a scream from over my head. It appeared on the roof when the dude that went up to call the slobs.
Oh, sorry. Let's go back that one.
Hold it! Hold it!
There were two gentlemen occupying the seats on the roof deck, I believe.
That's right. They must have looked down through the skylights and noticed the cove with a knife in his guts. When they screamed, the driver put the horses in. Matilda got me out of sight.
Out of sight? Where?
Back under the seat where I started off. Once the carriage came to halt, the two cows on the ran off to fetch the slobs.
If they immediately left to fetch the police, it would appear they were entirely unrelated to the incident. So that left Matilda, the driver, and you still at the scene.
Yeah, only the driver didn't know I was there because I was under the seat. I heard the cabin door open, a voice from the outside.
The driver, yes.
The driver, yes. He also testified in the trial, I believe.
This dude.
A fellow who went by the name of Beepo, if memory serves.
What did Matilda and the driver say to each other?
I don't know what happened, and stuff like that mainly.
Last time we us leave the drivers and team to do a round of the pawn shop roundabouts.
Hold it! Hold it!
That pawn shop obviously being Winterbanks on Baker Street.
Just a moment, counsel. Do you mean to tell me the driver gave false testimony in the trial as well?
Perhaps the excursion to the pawnbrokery slipped his mind when he was in the stand?
In the 11-6? Michaela took off his coat and gave it to the driver. He folded it up, all careful like, before handed it over. When I saw him do that, I remember thinking, that coat and what's in it that could be worth a few bob.
Yes, Gina was sure that this must be worth more than Mr. Winterbank was suggesting, wasn't she? I remember her quibbling with him over the price that afternoon at the pawnbrokery.
The driver looked pretty happy when Matilda flashed some brass in his face, even running off on the lake. When the bug tried to call to me and told me, then the bug tried to call to me and told him to come out of the Drax cabin.
Okay, so tournament to sneak, doesn't say nothing. Okay, give me a second. Yeah, some water. Alright,
Hold it!
I don't know what to present, so let's just keep pressing. Threatened you? How exactly?
Tell me I'd only been able to stop if I did exactly what he said.
Which included giving false testimony in court 2 months ago.
Yeah, that's it. And there was another thing he said.
Which was?
He told me if I had a... He told me I had to hang the ticket from the pawn shop and make sure not to lose it.
The ticket? Well, I'd never.
He said that if I didn't show up to get the ticket of... If he didn't show up to take the ticket of me before 2 months passed, I had to go to the pawn shop and pay the money to keep it in the log to stop it from being forfeited. Let me wait some price to pay for it.
But really? Why on earth would Mr. McGill have done such a thing? Depositing his overcoat with a pawnbroker before the arrival of the police. It makes no sense at all. There would seem to be only one logical explanation, my lord. That Mr. McGilded had the driver deposit of Winterbanks was something he didn't want the police to see. Something very important that he needed to hide at all costs.
Anyway, after that he'll let me go. So I left it before the coppers show up. Well then, Gina.
Well then, Gina, it kind of been easy to tell the truth like that.
Gina's really putting her faith in you, Reno.
Yes, and to thank her, she'll have to face a charge of perjury once this trial's over. So we need to use the time we have now to get as much information out of her as possible. It's time to really go for it. Press her in every statement.
I suppose I should.
Ah, and another thing.
Oh, what's that?
Take a look at those two. Isn't it strange that they've been whispering to each other the entire time?
Yeah! Thank you, Iris! Someone with brains! Finally!
Yes, that is strange. Looks like they've been having a secret discussion about something. I'm not sure I'm completely comfortable with that. I wonder if there's anything I can do about it.
Okay. Curious.
Bullet, Shaman Smudge, Music Box, Stereoscope. Oh, wait a second. The case notes. Thank you, Susato-san. Let's see what this says. Okay, what this is, a nice creature omnibus, Mason Militarn, Maker is London, Defender Magnus Gilda, Point 6, the right witness. Okay. Would that be it? Good thing. Does anything change here? So what I'm trying to do is not provide evidence on what she is saying, that she is like this is a different type of thing. We're not trying to prove that what she's saying is wrong. We're trying to prove that what she's saying has some connection to these people. I want to see if there's anything new. Though I doubt it. Let me see. See, here's the thing. I have an inkling of what I need to do. Yeah. Nothing is gonna come forth. Okay, I have an inkling of what I need to do. If I'm wrong, then you know, it's gonna be weird, but it seems to me that what I need to do is not present, but press.
Hold it! Hold it!
Then, at the first instance that I have, talk to these guys. Let me go with Gregson.
Excuse me!
No?
Excuse me!
Is there something you'd like to share with the court, Inspector Gregson and Mr. Graydon? Am I right or am I wrong? Inspector! Mr. Graydon! Blimey! You're trying to get me a heart attack! You have been whispering to each other for quite some time now, and I'm using my quiet voice because I am just about had it with you two. Okay? If I stop being quiet, I'm gonna yell to the top of my lungs. Tell us, what is the discussion about? Discussion? With this fella? Pull the other one, Sunshine. You think I've got anything to talk with a shitty gent like this? And I have nothing to say with this uncouth detective after he deprived me of the disc that was rightfully mine. They've clearly been talking the entire time I've been cross-examining Gina. It's as if they've been negotiating. Thank you, Miss Lestrade. Thank you, Counsel. I've heard enough. I believe we now have a reasonable understanding of what actually transpired in the omnibus. It would appear on that night, 2 months ago, a negotiation was taking place on the omnibus. A negotiation, you say? The negotiation concerning this disc. However, matters did not run smoothly.
When the parties involved began to quarrel over prize, McGilded took what he wanted by force, at the expense of the other man's life. Which proves my point. This is clearly extremely valuable in some way. So I don't understand why as well. And 2 days ago, precisely 2 months after the omnibus incident, McGilded's coat and his all contents were due to be forfeited.
I don't know. I didn't know what I should do with the ticket. I mean, Carl died right after his trial. I knew that.
So you decided you would try to claim the articles as your own?
Well, why not, huh? They were only gonna be forfeited. Why shouldn't I have got them? Anyway, you can blame me for thinking about it. Thinking ain't no crime.
Mr. Straight, it would appear Mr. McGilded was prepared to kill in order to take possession of this disc. Do you know why that would be?
I got a clue. But I reckon it must be worth a fair amount of brass. It was probably gonna sell it. And you can't blame me for thinking that. Thinking ain't no crime.
My lord! The evidence your lordship requires has been located and is ready to the court's inspection, sir. Okay. Let's look at this box. Also, this box has to be empty. It's gotta be empty. Alright, the mysterious little box. Deposited by Gilda 2 months ago. There's no doubt in my mind that it's a key piece in this far-reaching puzzle. Damn it, McGilded! Of course you had something to do with this. Oh, come on! Are we going to go on another... Oh my gosh. Do I even continue? Do I even continue? Oh my gosh. Okay, time to collect my thoughts before we continue, because otherwise I am not gonna be able to do this. Okay. Okay. Let us open up the clear music so I can clear my thoughts here before I decide whether I want to continue or not. Okay, let's see. McGilded, that son of a... Okay. Someday, 2 days before the case, before the murder in the omnibus, McGilded went to Windybanks, or at the very least, he sent somebody to Windybanks. Let's just assume that he went there. So he went to Windybanks. And he deposited an item. He deposited a small box. He then deposited. Then the whole events of the case happened as we explained now. The other case, the omnibus case. So then the other item got deposited 2 days later on the same place. So you got 2 items in one place 2 days apart. I'm almost 100% certain that McGilded has something to do with the information leaks that are happening in the events of the game. Give me a second, I need to check something. I'm sorry. I was talking to a friend. Um. Damn it, McGilded. I didn't know just how much of a damage this man was going to do to this case, this whole thing. I am absolutely floored. This case just taking out a lot of me. Oh wow. I feel like I want to continue because it's going to be a lot. If I don't continue, I don't know how much more of you know what? I'm gonna check. I'm gonna give a quick check. Oh, I'm gonna do it here. Yeah. See, I had previously checked. Oh, hi. I had previously checked about the case, so I want to know. What am I writing? Great Ace Attorney. I don't know why I had a comparison. Let's see. There it is. Okay. So according to somebody who just did the case like from beginning to end in storyteller mode, this case can take anywhere between 8 to 10 hours. Wow, the case alone takes 10 hours. So, at a certain point, let me just turn this down. And I turn it up, of course. I was at the halfway point. So I need to figure out where in the story I'm now. To figure out if it's okay for me to stop. Or if I can continue. Because I can continue for 1 more hour. But I want to know if I can. Okay, so we're doing this. Then we have, yeah, Gina. This guy. Brought him down, the case. Then we got Gina's actual thing. And then we do this. Okay. Okay, so this is happening. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. Yay. So yeah, the talking. Then we, okay, yeah. Then, okay. Alright. Okay, I see. That's very interesting. If I had noticed that early, that the fact that these two were talking, then I would have startled them, but the thing would have continued because I needed to talk to Gina. I needed to press every point that Gina gave me. So I'm gonna say this. Okay. No, wait. All right. Let's go back. All right, so I'm gonna say that I got between 3 and 4 hours left in this case. That's what it looks like. In that case, if I have between 3 and 4 hours left in this case, and I'm just trying to take into account the fact that it's gonna take longer because I press statements, I think about the clues and whatnot, I say 2 more streams. 3 if I'm seriously slow. Hoping. So, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to stop streaming here. And I'm going to, bring this down a bit. Let's go here real quick. I want to check something real quick. Oh, that's just, I was like, what is going on? You know what? Yes. There's somebody I just met. I found some time ago. So that's what we're gonna do. What's her name? Oh, there you go. I wrote it wrong. There it is. All right. So I don't know much about League of Legends, but I'm going to send you to this person, Pionta. I don't know if they're still streaming but I'm going to do this. Right? So we're gonna send you to Pionta. And come on. Give me a second. Give me a second. Back off. Back off from there. Sorry. I want to make sure I'm doing this properly. I make sure everything is doing properly, okay? So, tomorrow. So tomorrow, we're gonna have more Ace Attorney. Okay? Tomorrow we're gonna have more Ace Attorney, and we're going to see if we can finish the game. If not, then next week we're definitely gonna finish the game, as far as I can see. Ladies and gentlemen, I will see you guys later, and I hope you have a fantastic, wonderful day. Goodbye for now. Oh, dang it.